Hello guys, so today we'll talk about Shiva. So Shiva is the Hindu god of destruction, enlightenment, medicine, and occult knowledge. He also represents many other things such as beauty, hunting, and nature. He is really multifaceted. He is also a god of yoga who taught humanity yoga. But in general, let's just say that he is a principle of destruction, a lord of destruction. And he is the great god, also known as Mahadev. He is the great spirit which destroys and animates everything. And he, in a classical sense, surpasses what we usually consider a deity or a god. He is more like I don't know how to say. He is everything. Shiva is everything. And we interact with everything, with the all, through this avatar of the Lord of Destruction. But in reality, Shiva is everything and he is the ultimate reality. So when we venerate Shiva, we worship that ultimate reality and we submit to that ultimate reality and we become one with that ultimate reality. Now, in this video, I will talk about Shiva as Bhuteshvara, the Lord of Ghosts. Now, this is a form of Shiva which dwells in a cremation ground and rules over the restless ghosts and spirits of the dead. And he is contacted essentially as a spirit responsible for enlightenment and knowledge. And he is really useful on the left-hand path in the form of Bhuteshvara. Now, in general, you will see the yantra on the screen, and you draw this yantra on the screen while pronouncing the word Tsateayan, 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 over and over again. And when yantra starts to become active and when it starts to radiate energy, then you should change the mantra you use. And then you should start using the mantra Bhuteshvara Atairan Kuyan Enisuyan Bhuteshvara Atairan Kuyan Enisuyan Bhuteshvara Atairan Kuyan Enisuyan Bhuteshvara Atairan Kuyan Enisuyan over and over again. And then the energy of Bhuteshvara will rise from the yantra, the necromantic force, and you should simply tell Bhuteshvara to merge with you and become one. So procedure is relatively simple. You draw the yantra, then you use the word of power Sateayan, 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 Sateayan to activate the yantra. And then you use the chant Bhuteshvara Tairan Kuyan Enisuyan to call Bhuteshvara upon and to work with him, to merge with him and become one. Now, after you activate the yantra, how you will know the yantra is activated? You will feel energy radiating from it. And after you feel the energy radiating from it, start chanting Bhuteshvara Tairan Kuyan Enisuyan. And you repeat this chant until the strong necromantic dark energy of Bhuteshvara comes from the yantra to you. Now I need to explain how this technology works, how this yantra works, how this mantra works and everything. So essentially this is the yantra which is used usually to connect to Tsateayan. So Tsateayan is essentially a combination of Vishnu and Shiva into one being. But this yantra could also be used to connect with Bhuteshvara, which is a specific form of Shiva connected to the cremation ground. So this is yantra which is used to connection with Sateayan Loka, in which combination of Shiva and Vishnu energy reside. But you essentially open this yantra and then you call Bhuteshvara using this yantra. So I already explained how to contact Bhuteshwara pretty much. So you use Satyayan yantra to activate Satyayan mantra to activate the yantra, and then after the yantra is activated, you call Bhuteshwara upon with the chant Bhuteshwara Tairankuyan Nisuyan. When Bhuteshwara comes, it is advisable to offer him milk and fruits and tell him to merge with you and become one. What this essentially means is he will start process of merging his consciousness with yours, and the deal is you work on merging with him, and in return he gives you all of his knowledge and guides you on the path to enlightenment. And essentially I will work with Bhuteshwara for a really long time, and this is exactly the yantra, the type of yantra I can kind of use to connect with Lord Shiva in this form of Bhuteshwara. So this is pretty much a practical part of the video. It's really simple. So let me explain once again. You draw the yantra, then you start pronouncing the word Satyayan, 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 until the yantra is activated, until you feel energy radiating from it. And then you start pronouncing the chant Bhuteshwara Tairan Kuyanen Isuyan, Bhuteshwara Tairan Kuyanen Isuyan, Bhuteshwara Atairan Kuyanen Isuyan, until the dark necromantic energy of Bhuteshwara comes. Then offer him milk and fruits and tell him to merge with you. And he will start merging with you and becoming one. And repeat this ritual at least 3 times a week or every day almost, if you want serious spiritual progress into necromantic knowledge of Shiva. Now, this is an aspect of Shiva which dwells in cremation ground, which means that it can be practically utilized to work with the dead, to practice necromancy, and to obtain all forms of left-hand path knowledge, dark tantric knowledge, regarding the dead and the underworld and the realms of ghosts. Now, I have to give a warning here. You don't have to tell Shiva to merge with you if you don't want to work with him seriously in this form. You can simply give him offerings and ask for one short-term empowerment or something. Don't ask for merging with the spirit if you are not ready to dedicate your life to it. Because essentially, if you merge with the spirit and cut the process suddenly, it can lead to dramatic consequences. I said it on this channel many times. So, okay. Once we cleared like a practical how to summon, how to work with Bhuteshwara, how to do the ritual part of the deal, I would like to talk about how I started working with Bhuteshwara. It's kind of crazy. So I was really interested in Lord Shiva for years, and in 2018 I met a guru, and the guru on the internet, he was known as Shivaji. There is a video dedicated to him on this channel. Like it's a really old video when the channel just started in 2018. And it was, a time when I just started practicing in 2018 and 2019. It was like long ago, really long ago. And he recommended me to chant Om Namah Shivaya mantra pretty much, and I did. And then Shiva appeared in his really light right-hand path form, like a happy yogi, which was like spiritually elevated and enlightened. Like that energy, like that yellow burning flames, really intoxicating, really powerful. And then with him, once during meditation came Kali, and Kali manifested as a really powerful black smoke with a terrifying feminine face inside of a smoke. And I was really terrified of Kali, which is kind of ironic considering that right now I work with Kali technically more than I work with Shiva. And then after sometime in 2019 and 2020 and 2021, I became really interested in Ionist tradition presented on the Iron Ore Foundation, and I started working with tantric entities there, like Asura Kalanemi, Pishachamayalakan, like demons from the Hindu perspective, demons from the Hindu mythological sphere. And I had really good results with that. And then I started asking people how to work with the dark left hand path form of Shiva, also known as Kalabhairav, really destructive, fierce form of him. And they gave me the yantra for it. And the yantra was not the one you see on the screen, it was a different one, and it connected to a really dark, powerful form of Shiva. For a form of Shiva, it was known as Nalatava Shivanan yantra. And I used the yantra. However, whenever I used the yantra, I wouldn't be able to connect with Shiva fully. I would usually be overloaded or overwhelmed. And until a few weeks ago, I finally found this Satyayan yantra to connect with Bhuteshwara using the method I gave you here. And this is, I think, the aspect of Shiva majority of left-hand path practitioners who are not so elevated can work with. And Bhuteshwara is much easier to work with than Kalabhairav. It's like much closer to this plane of existence and approachable. Much more approachable than Kalabhairav form. And the reason why I don't recommend people working with Kalabhairav form is it's a transcendental, dark, primordial form of Shiva, which is much stronger than what we know in as goetic spirit. As goetic spirits, Kalabhairav Shiva is something else completely. Nalatva Shivana is completely beyond this world. He blows my mind. And there is a difference between tantric forms, dark left-hand path forms of Shiva and Kali. Kali would tend to be more approachable to people. So when you work with Kali in a tantric form, she tends to come to you in a way you can tolerate. Shiva is different. Shiva will come in a form which is fierce and primordial if you call his tantric aspect. And it will fuck you up if you're not ready. So that's the reason why I gave you this Bhuteshwara material. For those of you who are not capable, like me, of working with Kalabhairav stuff. So talk to you soon. And see you later.